One of the main reasons why Drake and Josh work so well as a show is because of the on-screen chemistry between the two brothers. They are an elite comedic duo who are honestly so entertaining just from bouncing off each other's energies that they don't even need much of a plot to be entertaining. That's why an episode like Treehouse works so well, because even though not much happens besides them being stuck in a room together, that's all they need to make us laugh. Their comedic chemistry is that good, which is why it's kind of surprising that there's an episode of the show where one of them barely appears on screen. And I'm talking about the season 4 episode, The Storm. And out of the whole show, this is Josh's most minor role in any episode, as he only appears in the opening sequence and then briefly in the first scene. And it kind of blew my mind to realize that Josh is barely in this episode, because to be honest, I didn't even really notice his absence whenever I watched this one as a kid. But since the show is literally called Drake and Josh, I am pretty curious why Josh isn't featured in this one as a main character. And while there's a lot of speculation and theories online about his absence in this episode, nothing is 100% confirmed. The most popular theory is that Josh had to take some time off from filming due to his issues with drug and alcohol addiction, which became a real problem following his significant weight loss in his later teenage years.
I lost weight while I was doing Drake and Josh, like between the 3rd and 4th season. And then right around then was when I discovered drugs and alcohol.
What drugs?
All of them.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was on everything but skates.
Are you drinking and doing a lot of drugs?
Yeah.
Cocaine?
All the things. I was on everything but skates. I got to my goal weight and then became viciously addicted to drugs and alcohol.
What kind of drugs did you do?
I did them all.
Heroin?
No.
And the timeline Josh is talking about when describing his drug and alcohol addiction lines up with The Storm being a season 4 episode. So it would make sense if he needed some time off around then. But Josh has never explicitly confirmed that his issues caused him to miss specific filming days or be written out of episodes. I even heard there was a rumor that in his book he described collapsing on the set of Drake and Josh. And I skimmed through his book and couldn't find any mention of this. So I don't know if I missed it or if this is just another fat rumor. And despite Josh not being featured, this is still an iconic episode with a lot of really funny moments. There's also some hilarious, unnecessary censorship in the streaming version on Paramount Plus, which is always a good time. And this episode even has 2 endings, which is another thing I had no idea about as a kid. So get your umbrellas ready, because today we're taking a look back at The Storm. And as always, if you guys like this one, please be sure to give us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just watch an adult film on my crankable television if you do. You can also follow me at Agro Was Here on Instagram and Twitter if you want a daily dose of nostalgia. And if you have any other episodes or shows you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. All right, let's dive in. In the opening scene, Drake and Josh talk about how things don't always go how you plan, using their recent trip to the dentist as an example, where Josh got a hole stabbed through his tongue and where Drake essentially got hired as an escort by the dentist.
So the dentist says to me, "We'll clean your teeth another day. Here's $200. Go show my niece a good time."
Also, why is Drake cutting flowers like that? Cut to the bedroom where Drake is practicing with his band, and he tells them they all fucking suck and need to get their acts together.
You were 2 beats behind the whole song. You were playing an A minor, not an A7. And you, dude, you're wearing a woman's shirt. It's called a blouse.
And fun fact, for anyone who watched That's So Raven, the drummer is actually portrayed by the same actor who was the juicer.
Juicing time, baby. Look, Corey. This is gonna be your head.
Brother could juice me whenever he wants. Turns out the reason Drake's bugging is because they have a big concert later tonight and the president of Spin City Records is gonna be there. Which, fun fact, Spin City Records is actually the record label that gives Drake a record deal in the series finale Really Big Shrimp. And in that episode, you do actually meet the president of Spin City Records, who is a hunky chunk of a man, let me tell you. He could spin my city records any day of the week. The drummer asked Drake for some sunblock and then God, we get one of the most unnecessary moments of censorship in any of these censored episodes.
You just don't want to share your sunblock.
Drake, guess what? Dad's on. Okay, what's all over his face?
Forget about it.
Hey, you got any sunblock?
What?
We're playing outside.
At night?
You just don't want to share your sunblock.
Drake, guess what?
Okay. Okay. By cutting the actual moment where Drake sprays him in the face with the sunblock, that made it seem 10 times dirtier, right? Like, now it actually could have been a cum shot. We don't know for sure. Why would they cut that part, but still leave him covered in white goo? Josh enters into the room, and this is the last time we're gonna see him for this episode, so take a nice long look at him. He shows Drake that Walter got a new hairstyle to compete with Bruce Windchill, and we also see here that Walter is predicting nothing but sunny weather in the forecast.
Hey, if it's a 5-day forecast, shouldn't it really be called a 5-cast? Get it?
Oh, Dad.
And there's actually an Instagram account at Dan Warb Shows who claims to have the original script for The Storm and claims all of Josh's lines were originally meant to be Megan's. It would make sense since Megan comments on how poofy Bruce Windchill's hair is in a different episode.
Bruce Winchell? Why would you watch his weather broadcast instead of mine?
Cuz Bruce Windchill has awesome hair. His hair is incredible.
Which is exactly what Josh comments on here.
Oh, you gotta see Dad on TV.
Why? Walter's on TV every day.
You got a new hairstyle to compete with Bruce Winchell.
Drake's bandmates point out that there's a bus in the driveway, and Josh reveals he invited all their friends and rented a bus as a surprise so everyone could go see the concert and support them.
How did you get a bus?
Getabus.org.
And sadly, I checked, and that's not a real website. It doesn't go anywhere. Now, where will I go to get a bus? Josh leaves to head over to the park to set up for the concert, and that's it for his appearance in this episode. And in case you were wondering, Josh was only on screen for a total of 2 minutes and 39 seconds, which, if you ignore the theme song, is only about 11% of the episode, which to me is fucking wild. Before the scene ends, Gary's sister busts through the door and demands her shirt back. And of course, he has a foot-shaped tattoo on his chest. Poor guy got the Dirty Dan special in this scene, with a white liquid sprayed on his face, forced to strip, and then a foot on his chest. That's literally the Dirty Dan trifecta right there.
Rockstar Drake Parker and his band, whose names I do not know.
And Helen has a good reason for not knowing these guys' names. They don't appear in any other episode besides this one. Drake's band just changes throughout the entire series, and I don't know, it's fucking weird. Gary is now wearing one of Megan's shirts, which she freaks out about, which justified in my opinion. And I gotta say, Drake sure switched up his attitude on cross-dressing pretty damn fast.
You're wearing a woman's shirt.
It's called a blouse.
That's my shirt.
Come on, he needed a shirt.
Actually, fits me pretty good.
So why didn't you give him one of yours?
He wanted one with a panda on it.
Come on now, Drake. Pick some morals and stand by them. The bus leaves in 40 minutes for the concert, and in the meantime, everyone's just vibing out.
What's up, Gavin?
Your mom's hot. Dude! How tall is she? Like 5'2", 5'10"?
And according to IMDb, Nancy Sullivan is in fact 5'5", so both of those guesses were pretty off. And when Gavin's done creeping on Drake's mom, he asks Helen why Crazy Steve got invited. And she explains that Crazy Steve had to get invited because when he didn't get invited to her niece's bat mitzvah, he freaked out and slashed everyone's tires in the temple parking lot. And fun fact, of all the episodes where Crazy Steve and Helen and Gavin appear, this is the only one where the premiere theater isn't shown. The house is the only location shown, and it's only the third time in the series where that is the case. The other 2 times were Alien Invasion and Sheep Thrills. Drake sees his ex-girlfriend Lucy from the season 3 episode Girl Power, where they argue about her being tougher than him. He panics because he doesn't want her at the same party as his current girlfriend, Carly. Carly is from the season 4 episode Who's Got Game, where Drake and Josh make a bet about who can date the most girls, until Drake actually catches feelings. What a fucking lame-o. Am I right, boys? Up top.
I mean, what am I gonna... Ow! Christine, how many of my ex-girlfriends are here?
Just those 2, I hope.
And unlike the other 2, Drake's ex-girlfriend Christine is not actually a love interest from a past episode, so they just kind of made her up. What, they think 2 wasn't enough? That's still drama. Drake pulls Megan aside and tells her to make sure his 2 ex-girlfriends don't interact with his current girlfriend, when suddenly, his bandmate announces that it's drizzling outside.
What do you mean drizzling?
It means the light rain.
I know what drizzle means.
Drake starts to freak out about the concert getting canceled, but Walter promises him the rain is gonna blow over quick.
What up with your hair?
What up with yours?
Touché.
It's touche.
And this is actually a callback joke to Walter not knowing how to pronounce the word touche. He actually pronounces it touche in the season 2 episode Driver's License as well.
Touche.
Touche.
Drake then sees his current girlfriend talking to both his ex-girlfriends and panics. He asks Megan what happened to the plan of keeping them apart. She of course responds that she made sure to get them all together, which honestly, what did Drake expect after he gave away her shirt and pissed her off? Not smart for Drake to ask her for a favor after that one.
Would either of you guys like the last stuffed mushroom?
Sure, I'd love to.
Back off! I'll have that mushroom, Mrs. Parker.
This is a great example of why this episode is so hilarious even without Josh. It allows for the side characters like Crazy Steve to have some great moments. Drake keeps tweaking out over all his girlfriends talking and giggling together. He tries whining to Gavin about it, but Gavin's not interested.
And they're giggling, man. Why are they giggling?
Did you measure your mom yet?
Okay, you can't date my mom.
I think that's up to her.
Walter's boss tells him he's got to go do a live weather broadcast from outside, even though it's pouring out, to the point where Drake comes back inside completely drenched after stepping 1 foot out there for half a second.
I got wet.
Drake still insists the concert won't be canceled because this will all blow over, and right then, the power goes out. But luckily, they have a little crankable television, and Eric is able to use the antenna to get a signal so they can watch Walter give his weather report, and brother is about to be swept away by the heavy rain and winds. It looks like his boss is potentially trying to give him pneumonia as a punishment for getting the weather wrong. What a shame. Also, Eric taps out because his arm is getting tired from cranking the TV, so the other nerd, Craig, takes over. And I guess that makes Craig officially the stronger nerd, which is interesting because I tend to think of Eric as the dominant nerd. You're really telling me he gave Drake a black eye with that weak-ass arm? He couldn't even crank for a few minutes. Brother just needs to jerk it a bit. He'll be up there in stamina. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Drake announces to everyone that the concert is officially canceled after an off-screen phone call with Josh. So everyone is stuck just hanging around till the roads are unflooded. And earlier in the episode, this concert seems super important to Drake, with him being strict during rehearsals and reminding the others the president of Spin City Records would be there. But he moves on pretty much right away and only seems to care about why his ex-girlfriends might be giggling together. Brother, priorities. Meanwhile, Crazy Steve watches an episode of Dora the Explorer on the little crankable TV.
Can I please take a break?
You will take a break when Dora finds her way to that banana tree. Come on, Dora, it's right over there. Obre los ojos.
Also, it's pretty cool to see Megan and Crazy Steve together on screen like this. I'm getting big Carly and Spencer vibes, especially since this episode aired in January of 2007, and iCarly would premiere just 8 months later in September of 2007. Oh yeah, and speaking of iCarly, this episode can actually be heard in the episode I Get Pranky when Spencer is watching TV.
Hey, why'd you turn that off?
I'm turning you off.
Come on, Dora! You're the one with the map! Don't ask me! Come on, Dora! You're the one with the map!
What the fuck are the implications of that? And it's kinda wild how this is only the second episode in the series where Megan and Josh don't appear on screen together. The first one is the wedding, by the way, but she does appear on screen with her future TV brother. I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting. If you don't, well, fuck me then. Audrey asks if they can change the channel for a moment to check on how Walter's doing. And it's really funny how Crazy Steve flips a switch and goes from screaming at the TV to being super polite to Audrey.
Come on, Dora, it's right over there! Obre los ojos!
Do you mind if we change the channel just for a second?
Of course, Mrs. Parker.
Walter is still outside getting pneumonia in the rain, and 2 thugs actually approach him and demand to have his shirt and coat. That's a crime right there being broadcast live on the news. Also, what fucking hat is that, bro? What kind of criminal wears a hat like that? Also, it's pouring rain. What are they doing out there? Craig asks for a break cranking the TV, but Crazy Steve screams for more Dora. Megan notices the roof is leaking and tells their mom, who decides to ask Drake to go up on the roof during the rain and thunderstorm to cover up the leak with the tarp. She's willing to risk her own son's life purely out of concern for the roof being damaged. That is straight up savage. Drake, of course, passes the responsibility off to the nerd Eric.
Yeah, so my mom wants you to go to the garage, grab the tarp, take it to the roof, put it over the hole, and weigh it down.
But it's pouring rain. What if I slip and fall off the roof?
But Drake tells him that's no excuse and to just tie himself to the chimney using a rope. And Eric goes off to do it like, I don't know, an obedient dog or something. What a good boy. And while he goes off to risk death, Crazy Steve is still watching Dora.
You're the one with the map! Don't ask me!
They change the station back to Walter's weather broadcast to check on him, and now he's missing his jacket and shirt. And even though Audrey is worried for her husband's health and safety, that doesn't stop Gavin from hitting on her.
Hey,
Hi, Gavin.
candlelight. Kind of romantic.
The subplot of Gavin hitting on Drake's mom is absolutely hilarious to me. But also, for anyone who doesn't know, Jake Farrow, who plays Gavin, is also the voice of Rex from Victorious. And this is pretty much one of the only times I can hear Rex's voice start to come out of Gavin.
Hey.
Eric falls off the goddamn roof and dangles upside down from the rope he tied around himself, which, good thing he did tie that, or else he would have landed directly on his skull from the looks of it. No one even tries to help him except for his boyfriend, Craig, but he stops when he's screamed at by Crazy Steve to keep cranking. Not caring whether Eric lives or dies, Drake goes off to the kitchen to confront the girls. He demands to know what they've all been giggling about, and the rest of the scene plays out like one of my schoolboy fantasies.
We were giggling because we were talking about guys who were good kissers, and we all agreed that you're the best.
Really?
Uh-huh. Got serious lip talent. It's true.
Am I crazy, or are they... Is anyone getting orgy vibes here? Like, Drake should at least ask, right? Also, it's funny how the power is supposed to be out still, yet this kitchen appears to be fully fucking lit from just 3 candles and a fucking lantern.
Which one of us is the best kisser?
Huh?
Come on. It's only fair. Yeah, tell us.
Well, Ryan Seacrest.
Hilarious line from Drake, iconic, but also, why wouldn't you just say your current girlfriend is the best kisser?
Come on, Dora! It's right behind you!
The crank broke.
Craig is finally free from having to manually play Dora for Crazy Steve. Megan complains that they're all stuck there with nothing to do, and Helen decides to show her how to party it up, no electricity required. And this is where we split into 2 different possible endings. The first one is the one I always remember seeing as a kid, and the one that's currently on Paramount Plus. Helen starts singing We Will Rock You by Queen, and Drake joins in. Even Craig and Eric get a fucking verse. Glad to see Eric still alive, by the way, but I guess the Nickelodeon producers thought there might be some copyright issues down the line when using that song, because they decided to make a second version of this scene where it starts off the same with Helen getting everyone to pat and clap to the beat, but instead of We Will Rock You, the characters bust out into a different song called Let's Get This Party Started, which, not the Black Eyed Peas song you're thinking of. The one they sing isn't a real song and was written specifically for this episode. I have never seen this version before, and when I found out it exists, it was actually pretty trippy to watch. Almost like an alternate universe for this episode or something. And if you want to check it out, I'm gonna link to it in the description. But obviously, nothing beats the original ending with We Will Rock You. And also, I'm kind of low-key surprised it's still on Paramount Plus. Like, why the fuck is the Queen song We Will Rock You okay, but the Good Charlotte song from Dune Buggy isn't okay? It's just weird to me. And there you have it. That's The Storm. In my opinion, a fantastic episode that really shows off the comedic talent of some of the side characters on the show, like Helen, Crazy Steve, Gavin, the nerds, and even Walter. It doesn't really bother me that Josh is missing from 90% of the episode, because the rest of the cast is more than strong enough to carry it. But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think of The Storm? Did it bother you that Josh wasn't really in this one? Or do you think the episode works without him? And have you seen both endings? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. And as always, I gotta give a wet, moist, rainy, stormy shout out to the channel and Patreon members. You guys cause some sort of liquid to drip down my thigh. Whether it's rain or not, who can tell? Seriously, thank you for the support. I love you guys so much. Thank you. If you're still here, that's awesome. Make sure you're subscribed and maybe check out some other videos. You might have a good time, you might not. I can't make any promises. All right, thanks for listening.